Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
Well, welcome back to the Slippery Slope podcast and welcome to 2026. So I want to start by saying a genuine thank you to everyone who has supported this show and supported me. Whether you've been here from the beginning or you've only just joined us, your support, your messages, your willingness to think critically and push back against the narratives that we're fed, that's what keeps this going, keeps me going. So thank you and God bless you. Now, I wish I could say 2026 has begun with stability and optimism. But if you've been paying attention, and I say really paying attention, you'll know that that's not the case. We're only hours. I'm doing this recording here on the 1st of January 2026 in the afternoon. So we're only hours into the new year, and already the global financial system is showing signs of serious strain. Let's start with China. They've introduced some new rules restricting silver exports. And this isn't some minor bureaucratic adjustment. This is a major shift. China is one of the world's largest producers and holders of physical silver. And when they tighten the tap, the rest of the world feels it. So we're seeing silver prices fluctuate wildly. And not because of natural market forces, but because one of the biggest players in the world is hoarding physical silver, while the West, especially the United States, I believe, is scrambling to stabilize their financial system. And speaking of the US, they've already injected billions with a B, into their banking system again. This is becoming a pattern. Every time the system starts to wobble, they pump in more money. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You can only patch a sinking ship for so long before the water wins. And meanwhile, China is stacking physical silver, real tangible wealth, while the US is printing digital dollars backed only by not a real lot. But don't get me wrong, it's not that I think that China is doing so great financially as well. China is on the verge of financial collapse, as is the US, because of their debt market, how much debt they're holding. China, and I've spoken about this, I spoke about this a couple of years ago, I believe, because of we started to see it all coming down, their financial system coming down. It's a house of cards. Evergrande, they're one of their biggest real estate housing developers, collapse with amounts of money, amounts of debt that you cannot even consider. And yet it seems like the Chinese have not learned, I'll say this, the Chinese Communist Party have not really learned their lesson. Okay, so they have brought this upon themselves, because not only was Evergrande just a house of cards, it's just a massive big Ponzi scheme that was being held up by government support. Now you've got talk about BYD, the massive EV electric vehicle manufacturer. It looks like they might have gone down the same road that Evergrande have gone down. So and there's lots of reports, lots of talk that China is on the verge of total financial collapse. And this is why I think they're pushing ahead with, they're putting all their eggs in the solar panel markets, EVs, and also why they're starting to stack physical silver. Now, let's go to Australia. Here in Australia, we are not immune. Our housing market is sitting on a knife's edge. You've got speculators, people talking about how no, the price is still going to keep going up because we've got immigration coming in, record immigration still coming in. Prices are, they have been artificially inflated for years. I believe, and I've said this before, that the Australian housing market is just a big Ponzi scheme. Just like what the Chinese market is. It is a massive Ponzi scheme. But this is what happens. Well, I put this at the foot of the government, and whether it's the Labor or Liberal, the government for decades have treated housing in Australia as if it's a investment, as if it's an investment scheme and not a necessity to live in, and not a necessity of life. They treated the housing market as if it is as if it's like the stock market. Well, just speculation. They keep encouraging more and more investment into it, but the wrong kind of investment. People who are speculating, people who are just trying to do it to make money, to create wealth, and not people who really just need a house, a home, a roof over their head. But they've treated it like an investment scheme, and it's just a Ponzi scheme, and it's all about to, I believe, come crashing down. We're seeing the consequences. We see record numbers of Australians are homeless, families living in cars, people who are working full time. Mum and dad work full time, and yet they still can't afford to put a roof over the heads of their families. This isn't normal. This isn't sustainable, and it certainly isn't accidental. This is because of government. This is because of government legislation. You know, when they talk about these 5% deposits and government going in and helping people, helping first home buyers, this isn't really helping the market. It's just continuously inflating the housing market prices. So the question we have to ask, the question analysts, economists, and even some insiders are whispering is this: are we on the verge of a global financial collapse? Are we already in the early stages of a global currency reset? I think we are, because when you look at the signs, the instability, the manipulation, the coordinated moves by major powers, it's hard to ignore the pattern. So let's connect the dots. For those of you, for those of us who read scripture, who read the Bible, who would call yourself a Christian, for those of you who would take the Bible, take Bible prophecy seriously, who understand that the Bible isn't just a spiritual book, but if you're like me, you believe it's a roadmap. None of this should surprise any of us. Revelation describes a future global system, and I've spoken about this several times. It describes a future global system, a beast system, where one central authority controls who can buy or sell. A system where economic power is used as a tool of control. A system where compliance is rewarded and dissent is punished. Where you hear phrases like digital currency, a global reset, centralized control, cashless society, you start to see how the pieces fit together. So I'm not saying that the Antichrist is here. I'm not setting any kind of dates, but what I am acknowledging is that I believe the infrastructure for the system that's described is being built or actually in place right now in real time. And the financial instability that we're seeing may be part of the transition. So, as we step into 2026, I want to encourage all of you, stay alert, stay discerning. Don't get swept up in the panic. Don't bury your head in the sand either, as we see a lot of people are, a lot of institutions are, especially here in Australia. The Bible tells us that these things will happen, and it's not to frighten us, but it is to prepare us, to remind us that God is in control even when the world is shaking, and right now the world is shaking. A friend of mine said that he looks at the world and it seems like the world is just falling apart. I said to him, is it falling apart or are all the pieces just coming together? Listen, I want to thank you again for supporting the Slippery Slope podcast. This year we're going to be going deeper, I believe, asking harder questions and shining light where others maybe won't be. If you find value in these conversations, share the show, leave a review, help spread the word, make a comment, send me a message, whatever you want to do. Please go out, share, stream my music. I would really appreciate that. Fallon Music, one of my songs, Bring Me Down, Beautiful Friend, whatever you want. Ultimately, stay safe, stay discerning, and as always, don't let yourself slide down the slippery slope. This is all my opinion. I am Fallon. Thanks for listening.
They just fuel a desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna